Hello, it's so great to be with you again. It's Tina Marie. And today I want to share what we call a spark of wisdom. It's an insight that can help you immediately in your life as you apply new strategies and ways of being so that you can reach the results that you truly want to reach in your life and become that person that you love to connect with through the mirror and through the thoughts of your own soul connection. Today I want to talk about meditation. And I want to talk about the practice in meditation and then how that pairs with visualization and what you can do to connect with your soul and that inner knowing, that intuitive, innate intelligence that has always been with you. In fact, that innate intelligence is you. It has been the very birth seed that happened before you were even conceived or incarnated, and that innate intelligence, that beyond yourself of consciousness being, is the actual being that is living your life. Sometimes we believe that we are this human making decisions, and I know it's easy to get completely mesmerized by this thing called life and think that I'm the one doing all this. And then life itself, and in all honesty, in my understanding, is in my experience, is that the true self, the true us, the true being that we are, is smiling upon our own limited consciousness with patience, with love, with adoration, and it's guiding us. And that guidance system is what meditation, visualization, other forms of connectivity are allowing you to have awareness of. Oftentimes in the spirituality realms or in the metaphysical realms or in personal practice to increase our spirituality, I hear people, and I did this too in my past, I hear people utilizing the term of reconnecting. And it's a misnomer because we're not ever disconnected. So reconnecting is what we would say. However, what I believe we're wanting to express is increasing our awareness, increasing our consciousness and our connectivity to using who we truly are and moving into and through and as the spiritual being that we are, the more powerful being, that more conscious, super conscious being that we are, and using these modalities to remind us, right? So I first came into contact and understanding of meditation whenever I was a tween. So around the age of 12, my mother educated me on a practice that she would do each day to become resonant with her soul. And she did call it meditation, but more than that, she just called it stillness. And we had a Buddha on our buffet in our dining room, a beautiful Buddha, large Buddha. And I knew that she had awarenesses of practicing different forms of spirituality, different forms of understanding this dance we have with the unseen. And although I was raised also in religious dogma from a Baptist tradition from my grandparents on my mother's side, and a Lutheran, which originated originally as Catholic dogma of religion from my father's side, I was exposed to it. I had an understanding of the Bible. We did go to church and different types of churches over the course of my young years. Yet mom was more into the Eastern religions and Eastern philosophy as a personal practice. Now, she didn't impose anything on either myself or my brother. We grew up in the same household. And they opened up, when I became curious, different texts that I could read, different understandings of different churches and different belief systems. And I really appreciate that, because what it allowed me to develop inside myself was a comfort, a respect, a trust, and an honor of these different modalities of reaching a spiritual understanding of our human experience. So my parents didn't want to term everything a religion. They wanted to term things as a practice. And in the practice, the end result for many religions, if not all, is to have a closer understanding of God and ourselves, of creation and ourselves, of the unseen, unknown, and ethereal, more powerful belief systems and ourselves through that awareness. And so my mother showed me some meditative practices of breathing, of stillness, of inner talk that we could have, that I could have, in asking myself higher questions so that I didn't feel powerless in my own development. And as a young child, this was an amazing opening that I didn't even know how to respect or understand the entire benefit of until I would find myself in my teenage years and find myself in my 20s and 30s understanding the gravity of that foundational opening that my mother and my father gifted me as a child being raised. I'm forever grateful. So as I learned to start asking these higher questions and trusting the unseen and trusting intuition and trusting that innate intelligence that was speaking in and through me, I began to have different levels of conversation. Now, growing up as a small child, I also had what I realized later were psychic abilities. And those psychic abilities were being able to literally hear people's thoughts. I can still do that to this day. And I don't let everybody know because it can freak people out, and it often has freaked people out. I simply honor it. And I don't sneak or snoop in people's thoughts. I listen to what's wanting to be shared at a very innate trust factor level because it is gifted to me in the moment when there is wisdom to be exchanged so that I can be a guide for the person in front of me or simply witness their thinking. And maybe I'll unpack that in another episode, right? What's it mean to be respectful of psychic powers? Because we're not here to harm anybody. We're here to help guide where the energies are asking for that. They do want us to step up and help us guide things, not participate, fix, or rescue, right? There's a different level there. So in my psychic abilities, auditory psychic abilities, meaning I can hear things, I hear people's thoughts, I can hear different guidance. They're not even, it's kind of interesting because I do hear voices, yet I ask them to communicate with me in thought. I can bring the thought form in a lot more cleanly and clearly than the simple auditory understanding of hearing guides or hearing other beings talk to me, right? The other thing is that I can see things. So I can see auras. I can see what I call sparkles. I see a lot of sparkles, and the sparkles have intelligence. And so it's intelligent vibrations of energy that have thought form in them, and they're communicating. So I hear that people's auras also communicate. There's warning systems that are in there as well. And the other things that I see are, and I haven't seen them as frequently now as I have in the past, but apparitions and definitely visualizations through meditation where beings and other forms of energy will speak and connect with me, right? I've never been scared of it. And that's something odd because many people have a fear of their psychic abilities, which we call them psychic. The truth is there are natural human abilities, yet some people aren't developed at that level. It's fair enough. You can develop them, right? And fear not, because these things aren't here to harm us. In fact, would you fear the ability to simply raise your arms over your head? Would you fear the ability to walk from one room to the next? So their abilities just simply the same physical abilities we have, but these are mental and psychic outside of the realm of our typical consciousness abilities. So as I was raised with these permissions to dance in this way and to experience life in this way, I literally was raised thinking that everybody had this. I thought everybody had this. I still have at some level, um, it's dissipated. Don't know exactly why it's dissipated, but I have what's called synesthesia. And so synesthesia is the ability, or I don't know if it's an ability, it just simply is, seeing certain numbers and letters and colors, even if they're not depicted as such on a page. And whenever I was younger, certain, fives were blue, sixes were always black, threes were green. And so in certain letters, I remember Z's were, I think it was a version of blue. It's been a while since the synesthesia has been so directly in my face. Um, it did impair my reading ability, and it I'm more of a visual learner because of that, I believe, because I have the ability to see things and know things and can connect with pictures a lot more readily, energetically than I can um, words on a page, right? So, with all this being raised in this way, whenever I decided I wanted to learn how to seriously meditate, not just randomly, and we can dance with meditation and think that we're meditating, and it's all great. Meditation is simply doing our best to still our mind and stop being taken over by the random thoughts that are creating havoc and impeding our ability to focus and our ability to be productive, right? So there's that level of meditation, and I honor that level of meditation. And then there's the next level. So in my mid-20s, actually it was before I had my son. So I had my son at the age of 23, so it was around probably 22. Yeah, post-college. I wanted to go and dive into meditation as a serious practice, as a serious faculty of my ability to control my mind, and more than control mind, because controlling the mind in meditation isn't simply about controlling the mind. It's about closing a door to thought form so that it doesn't get in the way of the communications that are coming from other realms, other physical and non-physical realms that are, in my understanding, absolutely real. And I know this because I've been there. I travel there. I experience life in these other realms. I experience people and entities and guides and personalities. I see them, I know them, and I communicate with them. And so growing up, I did this, and I really thought everybody did this. And so whenever I started realizing my friends had no clue what I was talking about, I realized I was the oddball, and I stopped talking about it. I think that was one of the first times that I realized that I can't feel safe in a world with what I'm seeing and knowing and hearing and experiencing. And I believe that was a first level shutdown of the ability to do it. I think we stack these places where embarrassment, shame, the potential for ridicule, not fitting in, which leads to not feeling lovable, which means that you could be cast out of your tribe. I think all these fear states are and have been a reason why some of the faculties that I had very strongly in my youth, in my young years, have dissipated over time, right? And so I'm personally getting more brave with it now in the last year and couple of years to share my gifts and share my understanding of how things operate and work, one, to benefit you. And then at the other level of it is, honestly, it's a selfish reason, because I want these faculties to become um, inherently me again. I want to develop them much like developing a muscle or developing a language. And I'm I'm excited about that. I am. So meditation, I'll give you a couple that I do on a regular basis, which are beautiful meditations. And meditation, for those people, what I've realized, because I've taught other people meditation, for an untrained mind that has a lot of anxiety or comparison. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Or it has just a lot of talk, right? The mind talk, the chatter inside the head. These two forms of meditation are usually a really great starting point, so that it's fun, it's engaging, and it's not so arduous, right? And not so boring, because sometimes meditation for a mind that has a lot of need for variety or has a hard time focusing, it can drive someone crazy. We'll get to those higher, deeper levels of meditation, but you can start with these two. So one that I do, I love doing this, and it's become a bit of a daily practice because it's so easy to do. And it's where we go for a walk. So go for a walk, get outside, and I call it the walking meditation. And you're going to ask your higher self. You are more than you. I just want you to understand that you are. Uh, for many people, this may sound odd, but you are not who you think you are. Your identity. We get caught up in an identity for safety. We want to label ourselves with names and statuses and certificates and degrees and job titles and roles and responsibilities and the labels of being a mom, a dad, a sister, a daughter, something like that. I get it. We all have this as a human. It's really a way we communicate. It's the way that we feel safe with others because we have something to talk about, right? And so that level of identity is not who you are. And if we use the term you, are this divine, intelligent, wise, connected, ethereal, bigger than life, energy source that has been here many times. My dad believed in reincarnation. I remember him sitting me down and we're talking about it. I was really young, probably about 8 or 9, whenever we're talking about reincarnation. And sometimes when people share things with you and you're in that conversation, it's as though the energies inside your body absolutely align because it's absolutely true. You can feel truth whenever we begin to trust ourselves and trust the energies of the world. We can easily decipher and connect with what is absolutely true, right? So my father shared about reincarnation and it was absolutely true. And as I grew, I started researching this myself. And so this this being that you are is remarkable. This being that you are is having this human experience and literally is full of amazing joy. It's full of joy and laughter and frivolity and grace and beauty and richness and depth and expansion and possibilities. And it's just so full of absolute undulating love. You are this source of, God, it's just such a spectacular experience. Now, I drop into my humanness often, and it's a safe container. It's an easy use of energy. If I could think of an analogy of it, it's like, I've been drinking a lot of water lately. So it'd be like being able to drink from a bottle of water or a glass that is common and utilized, and you know how to operate. We know how to drink from that glass, or we know how to drink from that bottle, right? And we go, okay, this is safe. It's safe because it's familiar, it's comfortable, it's manageable. We've got it, right? It's not going to hurt us. We understand this water thing. Cool. And so if we liken it to that, your higher self, your soul, your true resonance, your expanded energy of what you truly are is like trying to drink from a fire hose. So it's like, I can drink, it's still water. I can drink from a fire hose, but damn, is it coming out fast. More is that like tons of energy. I don't know if I can handle that, right? So what our soul does for us, and it's got such a beautiful insight. It understands us. It knows because we are it. So we are like the smaller, more concise, contained, manageable version of our power, right? It's like we don't want to plug an electrical device into the wrong amperage of an outlet because it'll fry it, right? We've been taught this. I travel to Europe and they have a different plug. Thank God they have a different plug because it's a different amperage, right? So my little blow dryer from America will not fit in the holes of that wattage or blow it out. And so, our soul is that. Our higher self is this energy source that's always smiling. I mean, it's always, oh my God, it's just so joyful. It's always smiling with us and at us and in us and as us. Um, Yet it also understands that there's a capacity. There's a capacity for our understanding of it. There's a capacity for our application of its power, of our not only tapping into it, but then coming away with that wisdom and that insight and then applying it into our life. Because sometimes, and we know this, sometimes the truth is we need to either change careers, we need to change relationships, we need to change our own habits and our own self-identity. There's humbleness in all of that. I mean, immense. And when we're ready for the truth, I'm reminded of Jack Nicholson. Uh, what was the name of that movie? I don't even know. I'll think of it. But it's where he says, you can't handle the truth, right? A Few Good Men, right? So the movie A Few Good Men, and Jack Nicholson's on the stand and Demi Moore is there, all this stuff. And he goes, you can't handle the truth, right? So our soul isn't mean about it. Our soul is loving about it, and it is loving us, and it is, at some level, yes, protecting us from the truth of the power that we yield. And at another level, it is guiding us to the readiness to absorb and utilize and come from and through and as what we truly, truly are, right? Isn't it a beautiful life? So meditation, walking meditation. Walking meditation is being present in each step. You'll be moving slower. Presence in your leg, in the muscles, and your feet upon the ground, and the sounds around you, flooding your ears, and the recognition of the differences of the sounds around you, be it a bird or an insect or a frog or a car or the sound of the very earth moving through space. And you walk and you listen and you observe, and your eyes take in colors at a whole new level. And you open your mind to asking questions. What colors have I not yet recognized or seen? Show me the beauty of life in this moment. Bring my attention to that which I have not paid attention to before. Fill my soul and my spirit and my heart with love of beauty, of the entire energy of life in this moment. Give yourself permission, pure permission, to feel at the depths of your soul and your being the resonance of the truth of life itself. So walking in this way through the world, paying attention to not only the trees, but their leaves, thousands of them, reaching, fueling this being called a tree, whose trunk is solid and thick and beautiful. Pay attention to the bark and its rigidity and its shape and its texture. Feel the heartbeat of the tree. Feel its roots deep under the soil, reaching, pulling in lifeblood from the planet, fueling itself so that it fuels us with oxygen. Have gratitude for every single leaf. Have gratitude for the pumping action of a tree and its vitality and its entire purpose and the God life energy that sourced it to have you witness it. Are you feeling this walking meditation? Then notice the grass. And if you're walking in the morning, notice the dew upon the grass and feel yourself as the dewdrop held within the blade of grass, an edge of you up against the roughness of that grass stem. Feel yourself flowing down into the earth, nourishing the planet and the vegetation. Feel yourself as a leaf, a blade of grass, pushing upward toward the sun, reaching, expanding, growing, cell by cell. Notice on your path an insect hurrying past. Feel yourself as part of his being. Feel his heartbeat. Feel his feet upon the soil. Feel his haste and his need for safety and security. See the birds, hear them, feel their wings flapping, be their heartbeat, still the space and time, connect with their beauty. A walking meditation is easy for any of us to do, and it allows us to take in beauty, life itself, and have respect and adoration for all forms of life and beauty, be it man-made or nature-made. Start asking ourselves newer, higher questions of how can I see and feel and experience the love of life even more? Fill my being and my soul to its depths with the knowing of life. That is a very powerful meditation. The next meditation I love to do also is to take myself into the place where time and space still and they expand. And when you get really good at this, it is so fun. So sit at a park or even at a restaurant outside on a patio or someplace where you can watch people moving and cars moving and life moving past you. And watch the speed at which things flow. And in your mind, slow them down. Slow down the words that you hear spoken at the table next to you. Slow down the pace of the people walking on the sidewalk. Slow down the thoughts that people are having. Slow down the cars or the birds flying overhead. Reach to that haste of life, the pace of life, and simply be with it and slow it down just a notch. What this does for us is it allows us to still our entire being and simply become an observer to the pace of life. And when we start to feel powerful in the partnership in the pace of life, it no longer creates the anxiety inside of our system that it can. We're here in the present moment, and we can smile upon our participation in the present moment. So meditation need not be this that sits still in a corner or on a pillow, upright. Those are all great things. Yet I bring to you an awareness that meditation itself and visualization and participation in life is your soul's higher guide, moving in and through you with your allowance that you can drop all shades of identity and circumstance and importance and significance and certainty and simply be and be in life itself, and life will reward you a millionfold. Hafiz has an amazing poem that I love. Time and time again, I share this with my audiences and my students and my clients. Hafiz writes, "When we take one step toward God, God takes more steps toward us than there are grains of sand in the universe." How beautiful is that? So, through this time we've had together, my want is that you find yourself as a remarkable being and you get curious at how absolutely remarkable you truly are. you also start to find that, and we find, right? I'm here with you. I have not arrived anywhere. I'm still on the journey. That our beingness is expanded, our soul is alive, and it's speaking to us always. And the mere want of meditative practice, in whichever way you land into it, is to connect with your soul. And we need not go around telling people about how much we meditate and all that kind of stuff. That's coming from significance, and it actually dampens the energy of what you're going to get out of it, because we want to move away from our identity and our significance as much as we can so that we can expand our connectedness to soul, right? Move from being simply the role and responsibilities and things like that in your life into a soul. That's who you are, from role to soul. And that your meditative practice brings you joy and aliveness and wonder and connectedness and truth, right? So thank you for being here. I'm so grateful for you. Find out more at bonfirecoaching.com. Our coaches are some of the best coaches in the world, and we practice and understand methodologies, tools, and strategies that help us move ourselves out of the way and reach a definitely fulfilled life. And that can be in developing your business and your teams within your business and your products and services within the world, and understanding how those get into the world even more effortlessly and profitably. Or in your career, becoming a career professional and a leader and a manager that allows you to shine and the people that you work with to really feel connected to a higher purpose. Or maybe it's getting through this beautiful thing called life at a greater, more deep, expanded awareness, and you want a guide to help you through that. All of this is possible and ready for you at bonfirecoaching.com. We always offer a complimentary discovery session, strategy session, to meet with one of our coaches and have us get to know your story. Where are you? What would you love? What would be that next level? What have you done so far? How have you accomplished? We want to know you. And in so doing, we can help guide as well. So that's at bonfirecoaching.com, and you can find us on all social media. And if you'd love to find me, I'm Tina Marie St. Cyr. I have Facebook, Instagram, all those different things. I'd love to connect. However we connect, write to me. Let me know your story. I want to hear and know you. And we're here as a connected family at Bonfire, moving forward to light our life. Thank you so much again for your time. And until next time, Tina Marie St. Cyr. Thank you so much.